Hey guys, Jason over at Kaiser Willys again, and today we're going to be installing the different pieces that it takes to put a summer top onto the CJ-2A. So what I have here are, I've got the brackets right here. These are going to be the pieces that go to the body that hold your top bows. And that's going to be when it's in the upright position. I'll do the storage bow brackets. Those will be a different video along with the straps. What we have here, this is Kaiser Willys kit. This is a kit that we make and we have made for us and us only. This is the top bow set. What I don't have in the picture are the door rods, the side curtain rods. So we're strictly going to be installing the summer top with the top bows and all of that onto the CJ-2A. We have this summer top, and I'll show you what that looks like once I actually get it installed on the vehicle. We have this in black, olive drab, tan, and gray. And then you've got these pieces here. We also do sell these top bow brackets in US made or in import. So these are already primed, as are the top bows. You can officially paint them if you want to, that's up to you. I have a canvas black summer top that doesn't have a little window in the back. It has the cutout, but it doesn't have the actual plastic insert, and it's got the V back in the back. So it's got the straps, it's got the little holes there for the capstan studs that are on, or those little turnbuckles on the windshield frame. On the CJ-2A, you have the little turnbuckles on, say, the vehicles like the 3A and the 3B. Those have a little channel, so we won't be dealing with that. It's just going to strictly be putting it onto those turnbuckles. So those are already installed. And then another thing I want to talk to you about that's already installed are the footman loops. So I've got these footman loops spaced out on the actual tailgate itself. You've got you got 4 little raised spots. That's for the for those footman loops. I'm going to have part numbers for these particular footman loops as well as the hardware in the video description below. So I put 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I've got 5, 6. So it takes 6 to attach this top to the back of the Jeep. And so that's what I've done. Another thing I want to talk about, I've already installed the brackets. Now, I don't know, may have mentioned it in another video. I'm not a welder, so I don't weld. But what I did was I bolted these in place. You can do however you want to. That's completely up to you. But that's what I decided to do for mine because that's what my skill level is. So I've already installed these. You've got a left and a right. So you can see this is what's holding on the bottom. So when you put the top bow in, you've got this little stopper right here, and that's going to designate the bottom. And then you've got these rounded edges at the very bottom here. Those are going to be the bottom. And you've got that on both sides, but you've got rounded on one side and you've got pointed on another. So what you're going to do is you're going to put that rounded edge forward. So rounded edge. So this right here, this would be the passenger side. Rounded edge. This would be the driver's side. Again, you have a stopper on both sides. And that just keeps that top bow from actually poking through, and it gives it somewhere to kind of rest when it's in those spots. All right, so now that we've got those rear brackets on for the corners, now what you have is you have these side, this is gonna be your middle bow. So your middle bow is gonna go down into this little slot here. And what you have here are these brackets. And what they do is they slide up underneath this channel here, and then either weld with these tabs here, or like I said, you can bolt them down, but they slip underneath this channel here and into place, and then you got it either welded or you're gonna have it bolted into the actual wheel well here. So this is in my spot. Now, one thing I wanna talk about that you should do first mock all of this up. So there's a bar that's going to run, and I'll show you that. There's going to be a bar that runs from the middle of your windshield frame back to the center bow, and that's for a little stiffener up there in the front. You're going to want to kind of gauge that when you put these in and place them. So there have been dimensions that have been posted online of the exact length that it is back. You want to make sure they match for sure. But I highly suggest, if you don't have any holes and you're doing this on a new body or something like that, don't take the measurements online to heart. Do it based off of what you have. So if you've got the top bows, if you got them from us, measure based off of what the actual pieces look like and how they're actually going to fit. Don't go buy anything online. Measure them first. So again, measure once, measure twice, then cut. So that's how I've always been taught. Measure twice, cut once. So we've got this one installed. The other one is almost identical. Just right there. Slips underneath that little lip and into place. Now I've already got these measured and they're all into place. So now that I've got all of that, let's take a look at these bows. Okay, so the middle bow will be the first one that you're gonna end up grabbing. This is the rod that I was talking about that goes from, there's a little loop on the windshield frame on the inner side, and it's going to line up with a loop that's on the middle bow. So you've got middle bow, and you can tell it's the middle bow because it's got this little notch. That little notch, and when I put that in the vehicle, you'll see, is for a door rod. So there's this door rod and then, or bracket for the door rod, and then there's one that you'll install onto the windshield frame if you don't have it already. And that door rod will just go from that point to that point. So this particular one right here, this is on the driver's side because that door rod bracket is going to go towards the front of the vehicle. So that's your driver's side outer bow. You've got an opposite side, which will have that bracket on the opposite side. And then you've got your center bow cross beam piece. You can see this little hoop, that little rod that I was talking about, this guy with the little flanges on them will seat into this guy and then onto the windshield frame in something that looks just like this. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll install these, this center bow and this center rod, and I'll put them together, put them in the vehicle, and then we'll move on to the rear rods. All right, so I've got this middle rod in place, and like I said, you've got your door rods coming towards the front of the vehicle, and you've got this little loop right here, which is where this guy will then go. So we'll go ahead and stick that in place. Again, this is why you measure first, because this guy right here will go in there just like that. So now that we've got that center rod in place, we've got our center bow in place, now we can assemble the rear rod. So I said before that these have that little catch on the bottom so that you can't actually go any further than you're allowed. So now we've got our top bows installed. The next thing to do is to get this top in place. And the first thing I suggest, it's a lot easier if you have a second set of hands, but the first thing to do is to get this canvas attached to the front of the windshield frame, and then you'll drape it across, and then you'll strap it real tight down in the back. So let's go back up to the windshield frame. All right, so now that we've got everything sort of lined up in the front, we'll go ahead and put these turnbuckles in place. We'll spin them on, then we'll go to the back of the vehicle and we'll strap everything down. What's great about this top is you can see these have like little corners, so that when it's in that position, it's naturally going to grab the outside of the actual windshield frame. So now that we've got all these turnbuckles turned, we're gonna move to the back, get it strapped in place. All right, so you can see here we've got the different straps and they're gonna line up right there with those footman loops. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll pull this down straight and then I'll show you what it looks like after. All right, so there we have it. We've got everything strapped down. We've got everything in place. Again, what you've got here is you've got this little open window here. There's no glass there. I prefer it. It's a better airflow. Air comes in the side and out through the back. On these corners here, this is really, really cool. It contours to that back bow, basically keeping pressure on it so it's not gonna come off. There's no chance that this thing's gonna come off with the pressure off of the windshield frame and then being tied and strapped down back here. You actually have a little buckle here so that if you have those door rods, this can buckle in there. There's a button, so it's a little button here. Snaps right there, holds that in place. You can see what it looks like on the inside. That little crossbow right there. Contours right to the back. The V-back, which is what I was talking about. You guys can see how it kind of comes down here at a V in the back. All the footman loops. Now I did install my footman loops. Those are going to be in the link below. Comes with the straps. Really nice material, really thick canvas. If you're worried about getting it wet, give us a call. We'll have some instructions for you how to keep it clean. They do make water wicking spray similar to what you've seen for guys using it on their shoes. Kind of keeps the water away. Back up to the windshield frame. All the turnbuckles, they line up. Got these really cool rivets right here that goes right in there. On the rivet itself, you can see there's two little notches there so that kind of holds it in place. It's not going anywhere. Corners right here. So that's the CJ-2A summer top. Across the top, down the back. These do take about 2 weeks to ship. They are custom made from time of order. So if you do place an order online, you do get to choose your color. We'll have the part number for the color one below, as well as the one that's just your standard issue olive drab. So 2 weeks to ship because they're custom made. We do need to know the vehicle, so the year and the model of the vehicle so that we can get it made right. That is mainly for that, as well as some of the sizing sideways and backwards. So that is the black canvas summer top. You can pick them up at KaiserWillys.com. Give me a call at 888-648-4923. You can ask for me. My name is Jason, and I'll be glad to take your order from you. So I hope this helps when you decide whether or not you want to get one of these tops. Thanks for watching, guys.